The mezzanine level highlights the hotel's 100-year history. It was an absolute pleasure to see a 1925 expense report, a daily room rate ledger, and even a restaurant menu showing afternoon tea priced at 75 cents. Ready to step into the world of luxury hotels? Welcome to the Hotel Leaders Podcast. Whether you're an industry insider, a student of hotel management, or simply curious about the world of hotels, this podcast is your backstage pass to the heart of the hotel industry. I'm your host, Peter DeMoor. I have a fascination for the hotel industry, and over the last quarter of a century, I have studied it, been a hotel manager, and as general manager of a hotel school, have passed the torch to the next generation. Now, as part of an emerging hotel industry tech startup, I am independent from any specific hotel or chain and able to talk about the industry with a balanced perspective and a certain level of expertise. It's time to check in. Welcome to episode 14. Today we're travelling to a hotel that holds a special place in my family story. It is the Fairmont Olympic Hotel, Seattle. And this podcast is being released to coincide with its 100th birthday celebrations on December 6, 2024. And today's episode is dedicated to the thousands of loyal team members who have brought this hotel to life over the past century. Although I was born in Australia, my mother's hometown is Seattle, and my family has been living there for a while. In fact, we're into the fourth generation. My grandfather worked for Boeing for many decades, including working on the moon buggy as part of the Apollo missions. My uncle also worked there before becoming a pilot and then captaining some of the world's largest planes. And his house has views which include the beautiful Olympic mountain range. My cousin, who has a hospitality business you can visit at gathercheer.com, also lives in Seattle with her husband and young family. We were fortunate to spend a few weeks with them and visit the Fairmont Olympic Hotel during its 100th year of operation. This luxury property and Seattle landmark features breathtaking architecture, innovative culinary experiences, and unparalleled service. We'll be transported back to the roaring 20s with black and white marble floors, plush velvet settees, dark wood paneling, and shiny brass accents. I can't wait to share this with you. Here we go! The story of Seattle begins with Arthur Denny, who dropped anchor at Alki Beach, now West Seattle, in 1851. Arthur Denny was a prominent politician and business owner who was a progressive. In fact, he supported the right of women to vote, going so far as to introduce legislation in 1854. Unfortunately, his fellow politicians did not support that resolution. In 1861, he donated land and was a founder of the University of Washington. Although the university outgrew the campus where the hotel now stands, the street the hotel fronts still bears its name. As a side note, my mother graduated from the University of Washington. Go Huskies! The hotel's founding was a community project. More than 4,500 of Seattle's residents and campaigners raised what would be over $100 million in today's money to build the hotel. The Seattle Times held a contest to name the hotel, and the name, the Olympic, was chosen from almost 4,000 entries. The winner, a local real estate broker named Robert Lee Elzey, was awarded $50. He donated the money to the hotel and requested that a portrait of Abraham Lincoln be placed in the lobby. The hotel architects used an Italian Renaissance design, which was quite impressive. The hotel occupies an entire city block in downtown Seattle, rising 12 stories in the east and 13 stories in the west. The base of the hotel was constructed from granite and black Belgian marble, with black and gold Italian marble above that to showcase the shops that run along 4th Avenue and University Street. The building was constructed of buff-faced brick with a terracotta trim. The interior included the great lobby with high ceilings, and the walls were panelled in American oak. The lobby included a candy store, a cigar shop, a newsstand, and even a flower shop. The hotel rooms had fixtures and fittings of the highest quality, and the hotel's 5 kitchens included modern ice machines that could produce the hotel's daily requirement of 40 tons. The back of house was a maze of interconnecting passageways and the service elevators that allowed access to just about everywhere in the hotel. The first general manager was Roy Carruthers, who had a distinguished career and previously managed the Palace Hotel in San Francisco and New York's Waldorf Astoria. The Olympic Hotel's grand opening took place on December 6, 1924, with a grand dinner and a dance attended by more than 2,000 Seattle residents and their guests dressed to the nines, each paying $10 for a ticket for this gala event. Hundreds more people lined the streets just to catch a glimpse of the new hotel. This was Seattle's biggest ever event, and a radio station broadcast covered the event for 5 hours. I thought about doing a 5-hour podcast, but I've shortened this down to under an hour and added hotel video content for your viewing pleasure. At the grand opening, rooftop searchlights danced their beams across the surrounding buildings and sliced the night sky over the Puget Sound. There were vases of exotic flowers occupying nearly every corner and table of every room. By 7 p.m, the streets surrounding the hotel were crowded, both by those attending the opening event and others who just wanted to peek in through the windows and the front door. For more than an hour, cars lined up to let passengers off. The men wore fine suits and tuxedos. The women wore elegant gowns and furs. Walnut furniture graced every room. Drapes dressed the windows in damask and velour. Hundreds of lamps illuminated the hotel, and immense chandeliers glowed in the lobby and all the public rooms. The hotel was adorned in gold and silver. The dinner was held in multiple locations simultaneously, including the Spanish ballroom, the Georgian, the Italian ballroom, and the Marine room. Chinese maids in green silk served the guests. White-clad sailor lads bounded from ballroom to dining room and back again, providing entertainment. Snappy bellhops in gold-button uniforms catered to the needs of all, and a French girl vending cigars and cigarettes added to the cosmopolitan air. 4 orchestras were placed around the hotel so that each could be heard distinctly. Guests danced and partied throughout the evening. Once the night grew long, those who had paid as little as $3.50 to stay overnight only had to take the elevator back home. Each room had a bath or a shower, mirrored panelled closets, and elaborate furniture. The following day, press reviews showered the hotel with praise. A reporter from the Seattle Times wrote, "With the formal opening of the Olympic, page 1 in a new social era was turned. Others may sing the civic anthem of praise and accomplishment, lift their voices or ply their pens in a paean over it as a monument along the endless road of progress a city travels. But there is also another point of view. In the province whence come social calendars, a capital has been provided." Another wrote, "Aladdin rubbed his magic lamp with vengeance when he commanded the genie of community enterprise to put before Seattle a hotel that would be the last word in comfort, luxury, and artistic beauty." Throughout the 1920s, the Olympic was the place for Seattle's high society. Those attending performances at the Met could be seen socializing at the Olympic before and after the show. A new wing was completed on the Fifth Avenue in 1929, effectively encasing the Metropolitan Theatre on the University Street. New rooms were added, bringing the total number of rooms to 756. Unfortunately, the stock market crashed a few months later, and the Olympic, like many other hotels, suffered for lack of business. Its operators went into receivership in 1933, and management was taken over by the Olympic Incorporated. William Edris secured effective control of the hotel in 1943 when most of its original debt was retired. During World War II, University Street in front of the hotel and the Metropolitan Theatre was dedicated as Victory Square. A temporary Greek-style temple and obelisk were installed, and numerous patriotic war bonds rallies were held during the course of the war. In 1951, Seattle celebrated its centenary, and General Douglas MacArthur stayed at the hotel whilst testing the waters for a possible presidential campaign in 1952. The hotel staff would later claim that MacArthur demanded more protocol than any king or prince who had stayed at the hotel. University of Washington Regents extended the hotel's ground lease. In 1953, President Dwight D. Eisenhower stayed at the presidential suite and invited family from Tacoma to enjoy a dinner of salmon, roast sirloin, crab legs Victoria, and lobster Americaine. Helen Hayes starred in the Metropolitan Theatre's final production, and the curtain descended for the last time 70 years ago on December 4, 1954. The following year, Western Hotels, later Western International and Westin, took over management of the Olympic through a new subsidiary, Seattle Olympic Hotel Company. The new company paid $3.5 million to buy the rights of the Olympic Incorporated. The Met was demolished, and the place where it had stood became the drive-in entrance on University Street, and this is the main entrance today. 1960 saw visits by Richard Nixon and JFK during the presidential campaign. JFK returned as president in 1961, but neither compared to the royal visit by Crown Prince Akito and Princess Michiko of Japan, who enjoyed red carpet treatment. But the maitre d' was surprised when the royal couple ordered hotcakes and waffles for breakfast. It seemed they were keen to try traditional American food. In 1962, Seattle hosted the World's Fair, which was future-orientated and included the unveiling of a Seattle icon about a mile from the hotel, the Space Needle. In the late 60s and early 70s, the number of airport hotel rooms increased from 350 to more than 2,000, and the downtown hotels, like the Olympic, saw occupancy plummet from 75 to 60%. It may not sound like a lot, but hotels generally need an occupancy of around 70% just to break even. If it wasn't for help from the university providing a favourable lease, the hotel may have gone out of business again. In 1974, Ronald Reagan stayed at the hotel whilst exploring future presidential ambitions. And in 1979, Westin sold the management rights to the London-based Four Seasons chain. Four Seasons retained the original architecture and design when it provided a comprehensive upgrade of the building, including a $60 million restoration of many of its original features. This restoration included changing interior walls so that the 756 rooms would become 450 larger hotel rooms. As part of the remodel, almost all the fixtures and fittings were replaced. The 1920s chandeliers were spared. In 2003, the hotel became an iconic Fairmont property and was renamed the Fairmont Olympic Hotel Seattle. As a Fairmont, the hotel has gone from strength to strength, including the latest 2021 refurbishment, which we'll hear the GM talk about very soon. Today, and for many years, the hotel has been a very community-minded property. This includes loads of fundraising events, such as the annual Teddy Bear Suite, which is a fundraiser for the Seattle Children's Hospital. Each Christmas season, my cousin and her children visit this suite on the second floor, decked out with around 100 teddy bears, some large, some small. It's a wonderful, quick and easy adventure, and on the way out, they get to walk through the beautiful lobby adorned with a huge Christmas tree, and there's always time for hot chocolate and a cake from the 4th Avenue Espresso Bar. Here's Andrew Hoge, Director of Celebrations and Creative Director, courtesy of Rachael Podolsky, talking about the festive season. Check out the full interview with the link in the description.
All right, we are here with Andrew Hoge. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Welcome to the Olympic.
Thank you. Andrew is the Director of Celebrations and the Creative Director here at the Fairmont. And we wanted to talk to you a little bit today about your centennial celebration, and also I put all my sparkles on because it is December. We've got to talk about how special the holiday is here as well. Tell us what all happens here during the holiday season.
Absolutely. Well, this is where Christmas happens in Seattle. It's actually so much fun. There's so much going on. We have everything from the teddy bear suite up on the second floor to our large Christmas tree in the middle of the lobby, to the gingerbread and the cocoa and the holiday tea. It's absolutely amazing. And in my role here, I actually work with families who have been coming to the Olympic for generations. And it's always amazing to hear like, oh, I came to the holidays with my family, or I came with my mom or my grandparents. And it's amazing in a space that's nearly 100 years old to see that tradition continue and how excited people are year after year.
Before this podcast, I asked my uncle, who is a car enthusiast, for any stories relating to the Fairmont. I think he could have written a book, but instead, he just sent me a couple pictures of a nice little Ferrari Fantasia in British racing green with a Seahawk number plate, which he'd spotted at the Hotel Port Corsair a few days earlier. The Olympic is not only a landmark, but remains the place to be when you're visiting downtown Seattle. I must thank the current executive of the hotel, who worked with me to make sure this podcast was published exactly 100 years after the hotel opened. A big thanks goes to the general manager, Mr. Sonny Joseph, Jen Sawley, Director of PR and Marketing, Pauline Suryana, Director of Operations, who took phone calls from me on her days off. And last, but certainly not least, Christine, the Executive Housekeeper, who gave me some of the most unique insights into the history of this beautiful hotel. In helping with my preparation for this podcast, Pauline provided me with a copy of The Olympic, a book detailing the history of the hotel, and we'll go into some detail about where you can get that later in the podcast. I'd like to introduce you now to a video which includes the General Manager, Sonny Joseph, discussing the recent renovation.
We have so many memories over so many years, and we didn't want to take away those memories from our guests and from our community.
The $25 million restoration includes the Olympic bar, lobby, and staircases, where a major secret was revealed when workers pulled up the carpeting.
As we were ripping the old carpet down, we found this treasure.
Original terrazzo and marble flooring, hand-laid by Italian artisans.
We said, forget, yes, we ordered these carpets, put them on the side, and here we are going to restore it.
The original chandeliers were also carefully dismantled, labeled, polished, and relocated. And wrapping around the mezzanine level is a history walk, where visitors can check out the original hotel registry and historic photos. Even the new element is inspired by something old.
The original logo of the hotel was a ship, so we wanted to tie us to the past.
A nautical-themed kinetic sculpture imported from Spain. Each meticulous detail amounting to what will hopefully be another grand century for the Fairmont Olympic.
Sonny comes from a distinguished hotel background, having worked in Canada, Dubai, Qatar, and even my home country of Australia. Here is Sunny talking more about the vision for the hotel following this $25 million renovation.
Very nice. Now, Sunny, about 20 seconds to tell me what you're most optimistic about.
My world is full of optimism, and especially for this hotel, the most optimistic thing which we are looking forward to is to reopening the two signature F&B venues, which is going to definitely make a mark in the city, and we are really working hard towards it. It is definitely going to, I think, help the city, help the community, and to make sure that most of the community can come over and visit us. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
Here is the executive chef, Guillermo Carreno, discussing his plans for the 100-year anniversary, courtesy of King 5 Evening News, with the link to the full story in the description.
The executive chef created a special dinner inspired by dishes served here generations ago.
Go through the past and see how, kind of like imagine, right? Because I'm not that old.
There's Waldorf salad, steak Diane with cognac truffle sauce, and a strawberry trifle, paired with a selection of local wines. Because a stop at the Fairmont Olympic is a trip to the past, with every luxury of the present.
We want to be in the heart of the community forever. We were there 100 years back, and we want to be for the next 100 years also.
The hotel offers 450 stunning rooms and suites. If you're feeling like a splurge, one night in the presidential suite is available for a few $1,000s and includes an entertaining area for a dozen people and even a grand piano. However, the hotel also offers more affordable rooms at a few $100s a night. In each room, you'll find some of the most comfortable beds in Seattle, and like other Fairmont properties, you'll find the best bathroom amenities of Le Labo Rose 31, shampoo, conditioner, and body washes. From personal experience, these are the best. Other suites include the Grand Suites, which offer marble bathrooms, spacious living areas, and those oh-so comfortable Fairmont beds. Signature suites are on high floors, and junior suites offer separate bedroom and living spaces. Even the most affordable rooms offer a certain level of luxury for your leisure travel, and every room includes a business desk to make your stay productive. The hotel has had so many celebrities, so you may be staying in a room that your favourite singer, some royalty, a politician, or an actor stayed in, but we'll come to the celebrities later in the podcast. Experience Seattle's legendary culinary culture in the perfect location with 5 unique food and beverage outlets that offer something for everyone. Stop by the lobby for handcrafted cocktails and timeless afternoon tea. Bring a group together for a seasonally focused family-style dinner or fresh seafood and famous oysters. Guests and foodies alike love the dynamic downtown dining. The George is the signature restaurant. It manages to capture modern, bold colours whilst retaining a classic hotel dining room experience. Discover the unique flavours of the Pacific Northwest with seasonal ingredients executed with style. Sample fresh seafood from local waters and the finest meats and produce from Washington farmers and sustainable foragers, all in the heart of downtown Seattle. The Olympic Bar is located in the centre of the lobby. Sip enchanting cocktails, sample local beers, and indulge in the traditional afternoon tea on the weekends. A must-visit destination for seafood lovers is Shuckers, a local favourite that boasts beautifully carved oak panelling and vintage tin ceiling from the haberdashery it was in the 1930s. Experience Seattle's quintessential oyster house with freshly caught fish, local brews, and a friendly atmosphere. In the mood for a speakeasy-style cocktail? Check out the Intimate Founders Club, hidden behind a secret bookcase off the lobby. This intimate spirit drinkers enclave, inspired by Prohibition-era cocktail culture, is bathed in deep reds defined by rich wood tones and the soft glow of polished brass. I love my coffee and I expect the best in Seattle, home of Starbucks, and you'll find this at 4th Avenue Espresso Bar. This bustling and friendly cafe is staffed by baristas who even know how to make an Australian flat white. The cafe is a place for coffee aficionados and explorers to enjoy freshly baked sandwiches, pastries, espresso-based drinks, and signature teas. The hotel specialises in weddings and events. Here is an introduction courtesy of Fairmont Hotels.
So creating an event for the top planners in the industry is definitely a challenge because guess what? They've seen everything. They've dreamt it up, they've executed it. And it's definitely something that I think about. It's like, how do I impress these people? When I'm putting a creative team together, it's actually one of my favorite things to do. I have been in the industry long enough where I know what people are capable of and what they'll bring to the table. What I look for aside from talent, I really want to work with people who are kind and collaborative. It makes for a really exciting, refreshing, empowering process, which I think is really important.
The hotel is so close to many of Seattle's famous attractions, like the Space Needle, where my son spent a very special birthday, the Museum of Pop Culture, or Mopop, where you can see instruments played by Jimi Hendrix and Nirvana, costumes from Star Wars, the Terminator, the Matrix, and even the Wizard of Oz, the Pike Street Markets and waterfront, which includes Seattle's aquarium, the Great Wheel, sports stadiums which host teams like the Seahawks and the Mariners. Ferries glide you around the majestic Puget Sound, which is massive. It's a harbour that has more than 200 times the water volume of Sydney Harbour. It's such a beautiful place, with the pine trees, the water, the orcas, the seals, the bald eagles, and views to some of the most dramatic snow-capped mountains, including the Olympics, the Cascades, and Mount Rainier. After a day full of activity and leisure, the hotel spa is ever popular. Feel the tension melt away during an expert massage in one of Seattle's very best day spas and wellness centres at the Penelope and the Beauty Bar. With more than 4,000 square feet of therapeutic space, including a new hair and nail salon and boutique area, you'll find everything you need to rejuvenate and rebalance. Looking for a heart-healthy and low-impact workout? That's also a lot of fun. Head up to the indoor heated pool. At 42 feet long, it offers plenty of room to swim laps or just enjoy the inviting waters. The pool is perfect even if the outside weather isn't, being located within a sunny solarium. The swimming pool and hot tub are bathed in natural light and feature a skylight roof. The hotel offers saunas, of course. The hotel also features a gym with weights and even Peloton bikes. Fairmont Olympic's on-site shopping experience, located on the lower level lobby, is where luxury and convenience blend seamlessly to offer an exclusive selection of retail indulgence. Explore a diverse array of shops, each presenting a unique assortment of high-end products and bespoke services, tailored to enrich your stay, including brick-and-mortar luxury footwear, Engel & Volker's Seattle East Side, Ruth Hill Timeless Clothing, and Seattle's leading wedding dress designer, Luli Yang, featured in this video courtesy of the Fairmont. mezzanine level highlights the hotel's 100-year history. It was an absolute pleasure to see a 1925 expense report, a daily room rate ledger, and even a restaurant menu showing afternoon tea priced at 75 cents. Since opening, the Fairmont Olympic has attracted Hollywood stars, business tycoons, diplomats, royalty, and even presidents. In fact, starting with Herbert Hoover in the 1920s, every US president and virtually every presidential candidate have occupied the presidential suite. When John F. Kennedy, who had a bad back, stayed at the hotel in 1961, he found a firm mattress waiting for him. He tested it and found it still too soft. While he attended the University of Washington's centennial celebration, officials at the Olympic had a factory in Tacoma stop production, make a new mattress, and deliver it within hours. Famous royal guests of the Olympic include Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, Prince Philip of Great Britain, King Carl XVI Gustaf of Sweden, and the Sultan of Brunei, the world's richest man, when he stayed in 1993. Celebrities have included John Wayne, Bing Crosby, Joan Crawford, John Glenn, Neil Armstrong, Jimmy Hoffa, Dr. Martin Luther King, Orson Welles, Donald Trump, Steven Spielberg, Tom Cruise, and even Elvis Presley. In 1927, shortly after his iconic transatlantic flight, Charles Lindbergh was scheduled to give a talk at the University of Washington Stadium, where he arrived by plane. In fact, the Spirit of St. Louis appeared out of the clouds and dipped so low its wheels nearly touched the turf. As he made his way to the Olympic Hotel, he received the first ticker tape parade the city had ever seen. Seattle has also embraced tech long before Amazon and Microsoft. Boeing built the planes that powered the global travel industry. Bob Hope, a comedian, stayed in 1941 as part of his Victory Square war bond drives. And at one time, he commandeered the front desk, checking in several hotel guests whilst tossing off snappy one-liners. The Rolling Stones were guests on multiple occasions, and in 1977, possibly the first American punk band, the Ramones, rocked the hotel in the Georgian Room. The band didn't know many songs yet, so after the first set of 20 minutes, they returned and played the same set a second time. Here is a snippet, courtesy of the Fairmont. The Fairmont Olympic Hotel has received numerous awards over the years. Some of the more recent ones include winner of several World Traveller Awards from 2007 to 2024, Live Hospitality Design Awards for the 2021 restoration, Muse Hotel Award for Interior Design 2022, Restaurant and Bar Design Awards 2023 winner for the George, 5 flag status from Frommer's and Condé Nast Readers Award for the #1 hotel in Seattle in 2024 and also for 7 of the last 8 years. The hotel is also listed on the National Registry of Historic Places. Fairmont Olympic Hotel is one of the city's most illustrious and luxurious treasures. It remains a monument to Seattle's spirit of community-based entrepreneurism and the undisputed grand dame of the city's hotels. I want to say a big thank you to Alan J. Steen, who with other members of the HistoryLink staff was commissioned by the hotel to write The Olympic, the story of Seattle's landmark hotel, published 20 years ago. A copy of this book was provided to me by the hotel and has been an important source in compiling this episode of Hotel Leaders. The book ends with this text. Our story does not end here, nor is it fully told. The Olympic holds many tales. Some are known, others are not, and many have yet to occur. The ongoing history of the Olympic Hotel is practically a history of Seattle itself. If you have made it this far, you may be interested to learn more. If so, be our guest. This wonderful book is available for purchase, and I've included details in the description. Congratulations on reaching 100 years. This is an incredible milestone. I'm so grateful to be a small part of your celebrations. Enjoy the next 100. Thank you for joining today's episode. I hope you were inspired, amazed, and enlightened as we unlocked the secrets of the hotel industry's most iconic leaders and iconic hotels. If you had a wonderful time, the best way to say thank you is to follow our podcast so that you never miss our monthly episodes. If you love showers in luxury hotels, please check out our tech startup at showeraway.com, where we hope one day to provide people on day trips access to the very best hotel showers in the world. Farewell, until the next time you check in to the Hotel Leaders